Yet another grim picture has been painted for South Africa as the country's unemployment rate hit a new record high of 34.4%. The number of unemployed people has increased by 584,000 since the first quarter of 2021, reaching 7.8 million. I'm now joined by Dominic Brown, Economic Justice Program Manager at the Alternative Information and Development Center. Dominic, thanks for your time. So what story do these numbers tell about our economy?
I think the first thing it says and reaffirms that we need the immediate implementation of a basic income grant because these levels of unemployment contributes to mass hunger. And growing levels of hunger is occurring, as I think we all are aware of. So I think the basic income grant is required. Secondly, I think it shows a failure of more than 2 decades of government's policies, an over-reliance on a dying mining industry, budget cuts and an austerity agenda that exacerbates the jobs crisis, insufficient investment into the real economy where jobs can be created. And I think these are just some of the problems that we are seeing in relation to the unemployment crisis. And of course, it's youth and women who are disproportionately impacted.
Yeah, that's definitely the case, right? So let's talk about whether any of the government assistance to companies that have been affected by this pandemic has helped at all, given that we've seen an increase in the unemployment rate.
So I think it probably has helped, but it's insufficient. I think we need more direct government measures over and above the implementation of a basic income grant, which I think we should all be in support of. And the recent green paper by the Department of Social Development puts a good framework for discussing it, I think. But in addition to that, I think we need job-creating policies. And here, the private sector is failing miserably, and government's over-reliance on the private sector to create jobs through small and medium enterprises, etc., is not adequate given the scale of the unemployment crisis. So what we can consider doing instead is embarking on a reindustrialization program where we liberate large levels of investment from the public sector into public initiatives that aims to rebuild local communities, including fixing our schools, fixing our hospitals, rebuilding our transport system, building a public housing program. This is where we can build or create rather large levels of jobs, while at the same time improving the conditions of people's lives. This is the kinds of programs that we need to do. And there's lots of money for us to do it. South Africa is quite a rich country. And there's a lot of public resources actually available that's not being used and that should be used to quell the problem of mass unemployment and incompatible levels of inequality.
Yeah. Do you have any hope about the future of South Africa when it comes to any improvement in the economy and us seeing job creation? Because we've been struggling with this for years.
I have a lot of hope in South Africa. Otherwise, I don't think I'll continue doing what I do and the kind of work that we do in support of people. I, however, don't have any hope in the current government policies. I don't have any hope in corporations addressing the problem. And in spite of the fact that real alternatives exist, we need to really move to a situation where we put people's needs and the needs of the planet first, ahead of big business and the rich. So if we do at least 3 things to start with: one, start to implement the basic income grant through improved taxes or increased taxes on the rich, including the implementation of a wealth tax as the first measure. Two, we need to start to liberate the kind of resources that we need for people's needs economic strategy. And there's lots of resources that we can do to this. And this relates to the third thing. We need to constitutionalize the right to work so that the people that are able to work, and there's many people who are willing and able to work, can be employed by government and is employed by government at a living wage. And in this way, we can make this government work for us. And I think that's the kind of policies that can address the problem of unemployment in this country.
All right, thank you so much for your time and your insight. Appreciate it. That's Dominic Brown, Economic Justice Program Manager at the Alternative Information and Development Center.